Welcome back to Cheddar Business, everyone. The European Council is going to delay Brexit after British Prime Minister Boris Johnson's timetable was rejected by Parliament. A new deadline for Britain's divorce from the bloc is going to be decided next week. And joining us now is Nile Gardiner, director of the Margaret Thatcher Centre for Freedom at the Heritage Foundation and a former aide to British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher. Niall, it's good to have you with us. How long of a delay can we now expect from the EU?
Well, I think that most EU countries are in favour of a delay until the end of January. The only holdout at the moment is France, who would like to see a shorter extension. So basically, the European Union is yet to reach a consensus on this matter. And the French are saying that they will not even agree to an extension until Britain's Labour Party agrees to a general election. So this is an extraordinary situation. Britain is still actually heading for an exit from the EU on October 31st. That's the legal default position unless the European Union agrees to an extension. And so no deal preparations are already in place on the UK side. It all hinges now upon whether or not the EU can agree to a specific date for an extension. So this is really going to go down to the wire, I think, next week, Monday, Tuesday. There's also going to be a big vote, of course, in the House of Commons on Monday with regard to holding a general election in December. December 12th is a favoured date of the government. The Labour Party at the moment is not yet agreeing to a general election, quite simply because they would likely lose that general election. So an extraordinary series of developments in the UK and in Europe at the moment, and a lot is up in the air at present.
Excuse me, a lot has been up in the air now for the last 3.5 years, as there's been so much uncertainty around the country's future in the European Union. Business uncertainty about what it actually means for people who live there right now, who are not necessarily citizens of the UK, but are of the European Union. Any chance at this point that there will be another referendum with Johnson in power, and that if there were, the majority would vote to remain?
Well, firstly, there's no prospect of a referendum with the Conservatives in power. I mean, the Conservatives are strongly opposed to a referendum. There's no majority in Parliament for a referendum. And also, I think that if you did see a second referendum, which in my view would be completely pointless because already the British people have voted on this issue, but if there were to be a second referendum, my view is that the Brexit side would win again. I don't think that there's been any shift in public opinion with regard to Brexit. Recent opinion polls have shown a clear majority of Britons in favour of the UK just moving forward with Brexit and delivering what the British people voted for. And so I think a second referendum would be a slap in the face, of course, to the 17.4 million Britons who voted for Brexit in June 2016. And I think it would be a thoroughly pointless exercise. And also there's no prospect of a second referendum with the Conservatives in power.
So much time, so much jockeying has been spent over the past 4 years to try to get Brexit done since it was announced and really surprised the markets in June of 2016. Here we are now 3.5 years later. Has the UK wasted all of this time, the past 3.5 years, without a deal?
Well, I think the British people really just want to get on with Brexit. And as the Prime Minister says, let's get Brexit done. I think that's what the vast majority of British people want to see right now. And this has been a long, drawn-out, arduous process, really because Parliament has not been willing to move forward with Brexit. And a large majority of MPs in Parliament are Remainers, are anti-Brexit MPs. They do not respect the will of the British people, which is why we need a general election for a new Parliament to come in that will move forward with Brexit. And I do believe that Brexit will be a great development for the United Kingdom once it's actually implemented. Britain will do just fine with or without a Brexit deal with the European Union. The UK is the world's 5th largest economy. It has record levels of foreign direct investment at the moment. And I think that the UK will thrive and prosper in the Brexit era. And also Brexit, I think, will be good for the United States. But let's move forward with Brexit. Let's get Brexit done. And we clearly need a general election in the United Kingdom in order to move forward.
Niall, we've seen a lot of companies uncertain on Brexit. They're not sure if they should make investments. So in the near term, it doesn't seem like this is a boon economically with so much uncertainty out there.
Well, certainly I think uncertainty doesn't help, but the reality is that foreign direct investment continues to flow into the United Kingdom. I think it will significantly increase once Brexit is delivered. And so far, you haven't seen any major multinational companies withdrawing from the United Kingdom. But the longer this drags out and the longer the uncertainty, that certainly will, in the long run, I think, impact, I think, investor confidence. So it's important that we move forward as swiftly as possible.
We're all waiting.
Brexit.
We're all waiting. We're all waiting. That's Nile Gardiner. He's the director of the Margaret Thatcher Center for Freedom at the Heritage Foundation and a former aide to British Prime Minister Margaret Thatcher.
Thanks, Nile.